Okay, guys, welcome to Profit Meets Purpose. My name is Jack Blenkinsop. I am B1G1's Partnerships Manager. And before I introduce today's amazing guest, I just want to start today with a question. And that question was asked by the former CEO of Unilever, Paul Polman, who's also a friend of B1G1's. And that question was, is the world a better place because your business is in it? And he asked that question in his book, Net Positive. And it's such an amazing question because of a number of different reasons, but it's actually central to what we do here at B1G1. You see, here at B1G1, we provide an amazing platform for businesses to embed more meaning and purpose into what they do every single day. So they can say, when we send an email or we have a team meeting or we meet with a client or whatever it may be, something positive is happening in the world. And that positive thing might be planting trees or providing access to education. But that's what B1G1 enables businesses to do so that they can become real forces for good. You see, here at B1G1, we believe, and our members believe, that being a business for good isn't just great for the world, but it's also great for business. And that's what we're all about here at B1G1. And that's the reason for why we created this web event series, because we believe that when you actually align profit and purpose, it leads to amazing things. It leads to deeper connections with your customers and clients and your team members, greater growth, and of course, a lasting impact. So I really would love you all tuning in today to keep that question in mind of Paul Polman's. Is the world a better place because my business is in it? So without further ado, what I want to do is introduce today's guest. Before I do that, you might sense that I've got a bit going on here in the sinus front, and that's because I've been under the weather over the last few days. I didn't go and see the doctor. Didn't think it was that bad, but I'm pretty confident if I had have done, they probably would have just said to me, what you need is half an hour with Dave Holby-Wolinski and you'll feel right as rain. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. So I do want to introduce Dave now. Dave is a wonderful B1G1 member. He's also a friend of mine. And he is the co-founder of Includability. So Dave, massive welcome to the Profit Meets Purpose.
Jack, absolutely lovely to see you as always. And you're doing beautifully through flu recovery as well. I'm ferociously impressed. I think I'll be on my knees, but you're looking great, mate. And it's so lovely to see you and to join you as always.
Yeah, honestly, it's there's no one else I'd rather be with right now. So thank you for being here, Dave. Look, to kick us off, some people that are joining us today, they may not know you. I wish they did. If they don't, they haven't met you or know about Includability. Just give us a snapshot of yourself and Includability and what you guys do there.
Yeah, Jack, of course I can. So good morning, everybody. It's so lovely to see everyone. And Jack, thank you again so much for having me with you. It's we adore the B1G1 community, absolutely adore it. And it's a real pleasure to be here. And of course, Includability, my word, tie me because I will talk the hind legs off a donkey. So if I drift past a minute and a half, just cut me off immediately. But Includability it's a B Corp certified community membership platform. And we support businesses of all shapes and sizes, really across multiple different sectors. And we support them to create an inclusive, sustainable, and a mentally healthy workplace culture. And for businesses, really, I guess we do that in one of two ways. The first is through our Includability Gateway membership. And we use this to provide companies and their teams access to great workplace culture boosting content. So that could be short hot tip videos, resources and templates, free online monthly community support groups, and of course those quarterly in-person events as well. But we also provide access to discounted training, great online courses, access to awareness calendars, access to Billy, which is our online training assistant, and the engagement surveys. And of course we have a new job board, a new Includability job board, and unlimited posting on there as well. So that's kind of gateway membership. And then we have Includability Committed employer membership. And this is where businesses get access to all the benefits of Gateway, but they can also certify as an Includability Committed employer by completing what we call our 6-call verification process. And this is where we have 6 incredible independent verification partners that will look at ED&I, they'll look at sustainability, mental health and well-being, talent management, leadership and governance. And they pull all of that feedback into a verification report, which really is a celebration of all the amazing work that the business is already doing and committed to, but it can also help to provide a roadmap to support the challenges that they might be facing as an organization. And as a community, we're there to kind of hold their hand throughout. And of course, supporting that work is an incredible community of ambassadors, of partner experts, workplace champions who generously share their knowledge and their stories to support our includability members. And then finally, we have our community memberships for our freelancers, our solopreneurs, to help them access all the resources within the includability community too. So we hope through that very much so that we have an offering that can support everyone so they can really find their tribe with us. And of course, B1G1 for me, for the team, for our community is absolutely essential to all of that. So forgive me, that's a very long-winded snapshot of includability and how we try and support businesses in that way.
Not at all. I think that's probably the best snapshot I've heard you give. So yeah, thank you so much. Like, it's been so cool to see the journey that you've been on over the last few years and this amazing community that you've built. And you're helping these businesses to become inclusive and sustainable and purpose-driven, which is just, honestly, seriously, the work that you guys have done there is just awesome. So on the subject of purpose-driven and purpose, why do you think that enabling businesses, helping them to become more purpose-driven is becoming such an essential part of what they do and not just a like sort of nice to have?
Yeah, it's an amazing question, Jack. And I think it's so relevant. And I think we all recognize now, we've certainly seen it, I think, particularly since COVID, that there's been this huge shift, I think, in how companies position themselves as being values-based, mission-driven, purpose-led. And for a number of commercially critical reasons, I think businesses are placing far greater emphasis on, first of all, partnering with suppliers with purpose-led credentials. I feel that obviously there's board members and shareholders are held to greater account as to those key business decisions to ensure that they're working in an ethical manner. We now have far greater visibility as to how those businesses operate, and the transparency needs to be there. So because of the exposure, I think businesses, some we hope, Ray, are naturally making those important decisions. Others are recognizing, actually, in order for us to continue to thrive, we have to be making those purpose-led decisions now. And talent, of course, as we know, preaching to the converted, but people are central to the heart of any successful business. And as an organization, attracting the best people, retaining the best people, I think that will always come down to opportunities to grow within a business that is purpose driven, but that can also be open and transparent about that journey. Exactly as you say, Jack, like being purpose led is no longer felt as being a lovely, warm, and fuzzy thing to have. I think it's essential to your growth and to your long-term business health, and to attract great people into the business and to retain people to help drive that business forward. You need to be open and honest about your own purpose-led journey, and to try and engage people with that so that it's not just leaning on board, but actually you're providing opportunities for people within the team to flourish and to give them a platform to help kind of lead that charge and to drive that business forward from a purpose-led perspective. So absolutely, it's business critical for any organization to be sustainable moving forward. You have to ensure that you've got those purpose-led relationships in place, so that you're engaging with other organizations that share those values, so that you're building together, not just on your own, but you're building together as part of a collective community and in partnership as well. I think that's essential.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about the relationship with B1G1 includability is that I remember speaking with you, it must have been in 2021 now, so it's
Yeah.
2 years ago, and it's actually before you officially launched includability. And I remember us getting on a call, and of course, you've already been involved with B1G1 with Disruptor, another fantastic B1G1 member. But I remember you saying
Yes.
4 years ago, we haven't launched includability yet, but it's really important that we get set up with B1G1 and partner with you before we even launch, right? That was something that was really integral to the start of includability. So can you just explain to those tuning in, why was it so important for includability to be partnered with B1G1 before it even launched? Why was that so important to have B1G1 setting the foundations of what you plan to do?
Jack, it's such a great question, and it's so funny. And you're absolutely right. Before it had even begun, we were like, Jack, how do we connect to make this work? It's basically like, I don't know, asking you to marry me before we'd even gone out for a date, which is our relationship, and based on numerous video calls that you and I have had before. But we we adore the relationship so much, and you're absolutely right. It started with our sister company, Disrupt, which is how we first kind of came into B1G1's orbit, and just the best decision I think we'd all categorically agree that we'd ever made as a business was to have that partnership in play. And for includability, particularly setting up, as I know so many people on the call will recognize, setting up a new business can be terrifying. You want to make sure that you have wonderful people around you and great partnerships in place to enable that to sort of continue and to grow. And for us, it was never a question around B1G1. We wanted to make sure that from the off, that when we were engaging businesses with a new offering, that they understood that the impact that we were hoping to create as a business and that we were encouraging other organizations to be a part of that journey was central to the relationship that we had with you. And Jack, honestly, it is directly with you, with Raki, with Paul and Masami, because B1G1 as a I suppose taking the romance out of it as an incredible vehicle for us to kind of create impact, the ease and the ability for which we could do that was just magnificent. It was so important to us from the beginning that we got that right. And as we all know in life, you meet amazing people and you form great relationships and friendships and partnerships. And sometimes those are perfect for that particular time. And as time progresses, or as people or businesses change tack, you celebrate the time that you had together, but you know that you might just be moving in a different direction. With B1G1, it was so intrinsically essential to us beginning, but for us growing. And in terms of our long-term aspirations of what we hope we can do, the flexibility around B1G1 and the way that it's just so ingrained in us as a business, in the way that we engage with the companies that we love to support, the team that we love and that we love to kind of protect. That relationship is perfect for us. And like any great partnership, we kind of grow together. We love the way that B1G1, I think, we're constantly engaging with different tools and exciting us and like prompting us. And Jack, you were always very much, Dave, this has come out. Have you tried this? Have you thought about this? It's like, Jack, you know what I'm like technically. If I press anything, I'm going to destroy everything. It's like, fine, I'll talk you through. Let's get on a video call. Let's have a virtual cuppa. That comfort, that level of support of engagement was wonderful. And it means that it's such a joy as a result because you were so open with us as a community. When we're then talking about other organizations, particularly at the beginning of includability about that relationship, it was effortless. It was so comfortable and lovely. We do this, and you are creating impact simply by us hanging out together, working together, partnering together. And the visibility of us being able to put like the B1 tracker out on the website, to celebrate the impact that we would try to create as a community, as an organization, but as a community, all of those different businesses, the impact that they were having, the ripple effect was huge. So that was a very long-winded way of saying how much we love B1G1 as a community, but the ability that it provides us to create impact on an ongoing everyday basis was essential. So when we were creating includability, it was just, I don't know, it was like bread and honey. It was just like the perfect combination for us, which is why it continues to grow from strength to strength.
And just talk a little bit more, Dave. That's a wonderful answer, by the way. Thank you. Talk a little bit more about how it's impacted the team and the wider community, because you have built such an amazing community at Includability, and it's been so nice to see that community to grow over the years. So how has B1G1 helped play out your values, right? And how has it enabled you to connect more meaningfully with the team, with the wider community within Includability?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, firstly, around the team, it's been phenomenal, not just with us working within the business, but also for our friends and our family as well. I think we talk about I suppose this is the beauty of B1G1 because it's so phenomenal. And the work and the projects that you can engage with are extraordinary. but it's also so easy to apply in absolutely any situation. That's the beauty of B1G1 and the community as a whole. So for our team, when we first introduced B1G1 all those many years ago through Disrupt initially, Em, who's our sustainability manager, is absolutely wonderful. She was like, this is fantastic. I will look at these projects with my daughter. And then, because we were able to create individual giving accounts for all of our team through the platform, we could put pennies in each month so that they could pick out the projects that really resonated with them. But also at social events, be it a Christmas quiz or a teen quiz or as a birthday gift, you can put further credits into their account so they can pick the projects that resonate with them, with their little ones, with their family and friends. And that was a real joy. And because we were constantly talking about the G1 all the time, it's just ingrained. I think for someone that's been around charity fundraising for, oh, good grief, many, many, many years now, I think as a team, we're so used to, and as individuals, we're so used to thinking, right, we're going to train for an event and it will raise money for this particular charity, which is a joy to do. It's great for everybody's well-being. It's a collective team effort and it's fabulous. But we also know that it takes time. If you want to raise £100, 200, £500, it takes time to prepare the event, train for the event, do the event, reach out to your community to get them to sponsor you. I love seeing those things. They're so important. I still do it and I absolutely love it. But part of the challenge is that you almost feel like you're waiting and waiting and waiting to create impact. And when you do, it's phenomenal. And we know that the charities need that support and that care, and it makes an incredible difference to them. The beauty of B1G1 is the fact that you can go now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to plan or prepare. There are so many wonderful things that you can do within that platform to create opportunities to give. Every time we have a meeting, we will create this impact. Every time we host one of our monthly support groups, we'll give our community the opportunity to vote on 3 different community impacts. Those are wonderful. You can do that from the get-go, and that's the joy of it. And as a result of that, for our wider includability community, when we're engaging through our online support groups or when we're creating our includability committed employer ICE points, which companies can earn by being part of the community by attending workshops and training and community support groups or being a committed employer, we can convert those points into impact. So by them accessing those reports, seeing the good that they're doing simply by working in partnership with us is absolutely amazing. It deepens the connections that we hope are relevant so that we can support their workplace culture, but we are in partnership with them, helping to create a better world for the generations to come. And that combined as a whole makes for really powerful viewing, we hope. And that's again the beauty of B1G1 and the ability, the what it gives to us to enable to connect and communicate with our community and support them in that way, which is really special.
Yeah, I have to say, Dave, the stuff that you do even outside of B1G1 is phenomenal. And I think what you've done well at Includability and also at Disrupt is have that balance between sort of local giving and also your global giving, the global impact you're creating through B1G1. And I just love the way that you guys are integrating this impact creation into the different parts of the business. So obviously you run this monthly ESG, which is a monthly employee support group, which I attend, and you give everyone the opportunity on that call to create a positive impact through your partnership with B1G1, just because they're there on the call, right? And they're able to create global impact really easily, just because they're there on the call, right? And I can see the way that people respond to that opportunity to create that impact. It's always just so nice to see, and it's just so easily done. So I think you strike that balance really well between local giving to things that you care about within the community, but then also that global impact through B1G1. So I mean, what I was wanted to ask you here was just in terms of the way that the business is going, and obviously the community is growing with includability. How do you feel partnering with B1G1 is influencing your sort of long-term goals, right? You're keeping purpose in mind here. How is that kind of shaping the way that you move forward? Because you guys have been a part of B1G1 with includability now for over 4 years, and the number of impacts you've created is just incredible, right? So how do you see this tracking over the coming months and years?
Jack, yeah, it's a lovely question. Well, I mean, B1G1 is essential to everything that we obviously do now and that we'll continue to do in the future. And those ESGs, employee support groups, community support groups that we do each month are such a special part of that and as part of the long-term growth strategy, because that's where every month we manage to get all of the includability community to come together with three or four wonderful guest speakers. Obviously the incredible Paul Dunn. Paul's come on board as a guest speaker before to talk about B1G1, and it's so special. And for our community, it's a psychologically safe space to look at a whole myriad of incredibly important topical subjects across ED&I and mental health and well-being and sustainability, but to do it in not to take away any of the seriousness or the value of those topics, but to do it in, we hope, a really sort of fun, engaging, and educational way so that people can come away with takeaways and looking at all of these different wonderful hot topics, be it menopause allyship or intersectionality or looking at LGBTQIA plus community support within the workplace, or burnout, or gut health, or deaf accessibility, or digital accessibility. All of these are part of a number of wonderful topics that we get to talk about, share through includability because of our amazing ambassador network. James and I, who I work with, James is incredible. We always joke about this. I am literally rubbish. But the great thing is that if a question comes into me, I know that I've got a great mate in the community. We're like, oh, Jack, have you spoken to? And then you can kind of connect up, which is lovely. And part of the gift of those monthly support groups is the fact, of course, that we get to be together online, but also that we can celebrate B1G1 and those projects. Apart from the work that we do around the impact reports and the giving that we'll do on behalf of our team and that they do on their behalf, that is the one opportunity for us to be very public around this is our relationship, this is our partnership, it's everything to us. These are the projects that you can support. Please have a look at them. What resonates with you? And it's immediate and it's raw. And those are projects that will hit people for all sorts of different reasons. As as a parent, as a friend, as a family member, there will be projects that will hit you in the heart in different ways, as will be the case for charities that you support throughout your life. Generally, the causes that you fight for the hardest are the ones that have hurt you the most. So that's really important that we have those opportunities to share those projects. And I think as part of the long-term strategy, it's such a joy because it's such an effortless partnership. That comes from the fact that it is so simple and beautiful to create impact on a daily basis. These wonderful small ripples that you get to share with partners and clients and community members, which is wonderful. And because includability has pivoted a number of times over the last 5 years, as we've kind of got feedback from our community as to what they need from us and how we can support their business growing forward, in our ever-changing ED&I landscape as well, what is needed, what do we need to fight harder for, what do teams need access to greater educational resources around to fuel their workplace culture, to ensure that their teams, when they come into work, that they're coming into a workplace where they can bring not their best selves, but their authentic selves into the workplace. We have that responsibility to bring those resources and to support teams to make sure that they have an arm around them and supported in that way. Where we flex and turn and pivot, B1G1 flexes, turns, and pivots with us. We're so ingrained that while we think about long-term strategy, it's never ever a question of thinking, oh gosh, well, if we do that, how do we work B1G1 into that? It just happens and it's gorgeous and we love that. James and I were talking the other day about how we connect up those ICE points, those committed employer
Yeah.
points to B1G1 and thinking, right, we're doing it like this, but that's not quite working and our spreadsheets are going to have a meltdown. So let's have a try. Let's do it like this. Actually, that makes great sense. Let's change the projects. Let's put these in. That's great. That's how are we engaging with the community? How do we get those reports out to them? So it's a constant part of our thinking, not just from, from an emotional perspective, from a commercial perspective. Those projects are essential to us. So B1G1 in terms of the growth and how we support our community moving forward, it's so intertwined that those long-term goals are just ever present. And that's a lovely way that we grow, to have that partnership in place and to ensure that it continues to flourish moving forward, which we love.
Oh, we love it too. I did have one final question, but honestly, I feel like I already know what the answer is going to be. I always like to ask our guests that come on here for one practical piece of advice, right? That if they wanted to take a step to embedding more purpose into what they do, what advice would be? And it can be anything, right? So if you can give me like a 1-minute answer, that would be amazing to finish us off then.
Do you know what? You absolute terror, because for me it's going to be impossible to see beyond B1G1, but I do genuinely mean it. I think as an organization that's gone through, obviously we're a B Corp certified organization. We've gone through Planet Mark certification, CSRA Gold. We've had the opportunities to go through those accreditations, to look at the framework and how that can ensure that we're a better business, not only for the team that we love, but for the community that we love. That's incredibly important. They are of that particular moment, and it helps us to kind of learn, and it helps us to grow. Um, as someone who is something of an excitable puppy, having that framework in place is absolutely brilliant. The joy, and Jack, this comes back to your brilliance at the beginning of the call of, is the world a better place for having your business in it? I think you could bring forward all the accreditations under the sun under one roof. And I don't think that necessarily, whilst it creates the framework and it creates good in terms of your processes and your governance, for me, it always comes back to B1G1, because we're going to have a day where you think, oh my word, I was hoping that that would work and that's gone wrong and that's all gone a bit south. And how do we make that work? We don't know. We'll get together and we'll figure a way. B1G1 is the constant good throughout all of that. And because it is so beautifully accessible, it is so easy to engage with, to create those impacts on a regular basis. As an organization, if you are partnered with B1G1, and we say this to all of our community members, you are doing good within the world, because you are engaging with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. You're engaging with other wonderful B1G1 members as part of that community. I've come along to B1G1 events and just thought, oh my word, like, and as someone who loves people and loves listening, and especially, which is sometimes tricky because I do love to chat a lot, but I love to listen, engage with people's stories and to learn from them. You come into a room full of B1G1 members and it's like nothing else on earth. The feel good factor, the support, the inspiration, the ideas, how they engage with B1G1. So we're constantly learning from them, and how we can better support our community is everything. So I would say that to any organization. If you're not a B1G1 member, join the community, join the partnership, because it will have the most extraordinary long-term impact on your business and on your team, and for the good as well.
Dave, that is honestly, I cannot thank you enough. Honestly, I'm going to get a bit emotional here. Look, guys, we only have a couple of minutes here, and what I would love to be able to do right now is give everybody that's in attendance the opportunity to create a positive impact, just because you have joined the call today. Obviously, this is a big part of B1G1. It's creating an impact just by doing what you do every day. So my colleague Raki, who's on the call, is going to pop a link in the chat, and you can also scan the QR code that she'll share too, and that will give you the opportunity to create an impact. So pick a project. We will cover the cost of that for you. You don't have to pay for it. So go ahead and do that just because you've joined us today. If you've been inspired by what Dave has said, and I would be hard pushed to find anyone that wouldn't be inspired by anything that Dave has said today, then that link will also give you the opportunity to let us know if you would like to explore B1G1 further. I would love to connect with you and have a chat and see if there's a good fit with what you do. So please go ahead and create an impact using the link or the QR code that Raki shared. Do please let us know if you would like to explore B1G1 further. As I said, it'd be great to connect. And I just want to take this opportunity to say another massive thank you to Dave. You're not supposed to have favorite B1G1 members, just like you're not meant to have favorite children. And I don't have a favorite B1G1 member, but if I did, it probably would be Dave. And the great thing about that is that I think if you asked any B1G1 member who has met Dave, they would be absolutely fine with me saying that. They'd be like, do you know what? Dave really is the nicest guy doing the best stuff at includability. So thank you, Dave, for your just boundless energy and love and support of B1G1, for all the great things you're doing at includability. It's an honor, honestly, to chat with you and to have you here in the community. So thank you so, so much for being here.
Oh, Jack, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, anything for you amazing guys and for the community. And thank you so much for having me on. It's been wonderful to talk about our love for B1G1 and of course any support that we can ever provide anyone, we're absolutely there. And it's yeah, it's been a joy to catch up with you as always, mate. Loads of love to you and yours.
Thank you so much, Dave. And we'll see you all at the next episode in a couple of weeks' time on the 6th. Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Thanks everybody. Take care. Bye now.